Serial killers, the scariest creatures with psychological issues. There are many theories that say that childhood is the reason for their behaviors, and there is that little kid who starved for love is still inside that vicious killer. But apart from all these theories, the only thing we get in our mind while knowing about a serial killer is fear. In the same way, during the 1960s to 1970s, a serial killer filled the diaries of American people with fear. Throughout his reign of terror, the Zodiac Killer claimed credit for at least 5 murders and 2 attempted murders. Still, many believe he may be responsible for even more. He made sure the media noticed him by dropping hints and giving updates. This got people talking and made him a big topic of conversation, as he expected. Are his intentions being confusing? And are you excited to know more about this killer? Then stay tuned until the end of this video, because in today's video, we are going to explore the haunting shadows, the enigma of the Zodiac Killer's reign of terror. The haunting story of the Zodiac Killer begins back in 1966 in Riverside, California, with a tragic event. An 18-year-old college student was stabbed to death. Some people thought this might be connected to the Zodiac Killer. This story got really famous, even inspiring a tough movie called Dirty Harry in 1971 with Clint Eastwood. Then, in 1968, in a faraway place north of San Francisco, a teenage couple was together near their car. Suddenly, shots were fired, and they lost their lives. It was a shock. A year passed, and another couple met a similar scary fate. But this time, the boy survived. While the public was scared and the investigators were confused, in 1969, something even scarier happened. This shows what was his addiction. The killer called the police after attacking that couple, saying it was him who did those horrible crimes in 1968. It was like a puzzle. Later that same year, there was another attack on a young couple, and again, the boy survived. But the scary story didn't end there. In October 1969, a taxi driver became his last victim. He was shot by the mysterious Zodiac Killer. The whole town was filled with fear, and nobody knew who this scary person really was. Simply, the whole city was on edge. The terrible murders caused a big commotion. Cops and reporters were busy, trying to find out who did these awful things. But do you know what this killer did? He wished to mess with everyone's heads. He wrote letters to the newspapers, and even called the police on the phone, just to say some content that makes him viral. He had sent letters from 1969 to 1974, and guess what? Each time he signed them with a weird symbol that looked like the crosshairs of a gun sight. And he always started by saying, "This is the Zodiac speaking." It was like he wanted to make sure everyone knew it was him. Now here's the tricky part. In some of these letters, he put secret codes or puzzles. What an intelligent move to attract attention. One time, he sent a code called the 408 cipher. It had 408 characters, like letters and numbers all mixed up. But you know what's cool? 2 regular folks, not detectives or anything, cracked the code. The message they found was super scary, saying he liked killing people because it was fun. Can you believe that? Then, in 1969 again, he sent another puzzle called the 340 cipher. But this one stumped everyone for years and years. No one could figure it out. People tried and tried, but the secret code stayed a secret. Until 2020, when a team of 3 normal people finally cracked it. The message said he hoped everyone was having fun trying to catch him. What a creepy and puzzling mystery. While all of these events were happening, and as people were eagerly waiting for the day when they would finally catch the mysterious Zodiac Killer, something else surprising occurred. This brought even more mystery to the story. One big question that still remains is, when did the crimes actually stop? Really don't know. Some people think the Zodiac Killer might have kept going even after the scary 1960s and 1970s. Actually, this idea came from a writer named Robert Graysmith, who wrote about this case. He said the Zodiac guy might have killed more people even in the 1980s. But not everyone agrees with him. Some people think that the Zodiac Killer stopped after his last victim, and there are other theories floating around too. Then, in the 1990s, things got even more puzzling and came to the spotlight again when some crime investigators said that they found out who the Zodiac Killer was. Are you thinking it came to an end? They pointed fingers at a guy named Arthur Lee Allen. He was a school teacher from California. But here's the twist. He got in trouble for doing harassments to kids and was jailed in 1975. But there's no real proof that he was the Zodiac Killer. That's quite a lot of unexpected turns, isn't it? It's almost like a story straight out of the movies, right? Even director David Fincher thought the same and directed a movie called Zodiac in 2007 using the same main story. In summary, we still don't know who the Zodiac Killer really was, and that keeps his mystery going strong. Just like he wanted, people still talk about him a lot. Even though the story is getting more complicated day by day, we don't have solid proof to be sure. We're left wondering if he's still alive or not. And guess what? If he is alive, it's possible we might have even met him without realizing it. So, I think after watching this video, we can also become part of the group which is eagerly waiting to find out the Zodiac Killer's true identity. Finally, I hope this video was somehow informative for you. Thank you for being here with us, and don't forget to show your support by liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and hitting the bell icon for more updates.